You are with the big story here. I'm Seher Zama. The top focus on the horrifying violence that played out last evening at the Jadavpur University and the counter protests to that. The SFI, the ASU, two more student bodies have now lodged a complaint against the ABVP regarding last evening's violence at university. On the other end, the BJP has also lodged a counter complaint against the SFI as well as the ASU. All of this after Union Minister Babul Supriyo, as you see on your images there, was pushed, manhandled, heckled, trapped for over 4 hours at campus when he went there to attend an event which was organized by the BJP's student wing, ABVP, Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad. Hundreds of students there surrounded Babul Supriyo, shouted to go back, waved black flags, saying that the BJP leader was not welcome on campus, while he was eventually escorted off the campus with the help of the state governor. The minister has blamed the state police, the university administration for not acting sooner. In retaliation, the BJP has also now staged protests in Asansol this morning. Now, this is an issue of a national political rivalry which is playing out at a university event. What we are asking today, why is national political rivalry playing out in this violent form in West Bengal's campuses? The politically charged narrative in the state is taking away from the functioning and the education at the university. This is our larger concern today. We're going to throw this open to our panelists, our guests with us in just a bit. Let's get in further ground inputs on those developments that have taken place since morning. We've seen counter complaints, we've seen counter protests to this. Our correspondent Ranadeep has been getting us those details here. Ranadeep, please go ahead.
Well, sir, let me first get you through the entire sequence of events that had taken place last evening when Babul Supriyo had gone into Jadavpur University for this seminar that was being organized by the ABVP, which is the BJP's youth wing. So what happened was that it was around 2 p.m. when Babul Supriyo entered the Jadavpur University campus because there was this seminar that was organized by the ABVP. So SFI students, SFI, which is the left-wing organization, are also another student group by the left wing, had organized this protest, blocked Babul Supriyo from entering the campus, and they hurled slogans with placards of "Go back Babul Supriyo." According to the SFI students, the entire protest and the reason why Babul Supriyo was blocked from entering the campus was that Babul Supriyo had apparently previously made comments that were not very reasonable for the left wing people. So what happened next was then continued a protest that went on for almost 3-4 hours. You know, then when Babul Supriyo was not allowed to enter the campus at all, the governor had to come into his rescue, and then even the governor was blocked from escorting Babul Supriyo out of the campus. So the governor as well as Babul Supriyo were in fact stuck inside their car for over 1.5 hours, and only then were they able to leave the campus around 8 or 8:15 p.m. at night. What continued in between was
so we're looking at about close to 4 hours that they were trapped inside. Ranadeep, please stay on with us. Let's get in a word here from the BJP, Ms. Anila Singh, the BJP spokesperson here with us here as well. Anila, this is of course largely being criticized, that this nature of violence that is played out inside a university campus. There are complaints, there are counter complaints, there are allegations against the ABVP here as well in being used by the BJP in playing out national political rivalry at the university.
First of all, to say here that it is very unfortunate. Unfortunate in the sense that, is this our culture? Is this our culture of our country, of our Bharat? Where if some guest is coming, like Babul Supriyo was going there as a guest, he was invited there for a program, and he was so ill-treated to the limit. I mean, not only he was heckled, his hair were pulled, he was pushed around, and what the police was doing? He's a cabinet minister. This very well showed that was some sort of conspiracy to kill him. And ultimately what happened? The governor has to go himself to fetch him. This is the lawlessness, utter lawlessness, and it is high time. I think the government of Mamata Banerjee should be dissolved, or it should be removed immediately. She doesn't have any right to be Chief Minister of West Bengal. If a person like Babul Supriyo, who is the cabinet minister of our country, he can be heckled that way. So time and again, we had been crying on the top of our voices that our workers, whether Bharatiya Janata Party workers or RSS workers, they are being killed. This proves that how this government of West Bengal is conspiring with the people who are very much involved in lawlessness. So together they are making the condition and the situation for the people who are not from their party or from the left. They shouldn't have any place, any ground to talk or move. So absolutely not taken in a good taste.
Anila, you've made your point. Stay on with us. We're going to be continuing with this discussion in just a bit. We're switching quick focus to breaking inputs here coming in. This is regarding the other issue, the announcements that was made by the finance minister today and how the markets have been reacting. They have been cheering and calling this an early Diwali for them. Markets have zoomed after the finance minister's announcements in those corporate tax cuts. It's being seen as a big bang announcement by the finance minister. Sensex that has now spiked over 2,000 points already in the past few hours ever since she made this announcement, from paying a tax of anywhere between 30 to 35%. Companies will now pay a tax of 25%. That's a slash of almost 10% here, which is now being celebrated. New manufacturers will have to pay only 17% tax. All of these details here coming in. We have with us our news editor Avni Raja getting us those inputs here. Avni, undoubtedly, just by looking at the way the markets are literally celebrating this, we're once again getting in breaking inputs on how the Sensex has further surged up.
Yes, absolutely, Seher. In fact, this particular announcement is being viewed as the big bang booster shot that was required for the economy, because this is going to have a huge ripple effect in terms of what companies will now be able to do. A lower tax burden on companies means that they will be able to spend more, they will be able to increase investments, they will be able to cut product prices if required, and all of that is required to boost demand. And also, most importantly, this could also be the big booster for creating jobs, which the companies will now have leeway to once the tax burden has been brought down. So markets, of course, viewing this extremely positively, and this is being looked at as the big change that was needed. From among all the announcements that have been made so far, this is perhaps the one that has received the maximum amount of positive feedback and is now being looked at as that turning point for our economies ahead.
Many thanks, Avni, for getting us those details here. We'll be getting in breaking inputs on what we were discussing earlier, the horrifying violence that was seen there at the Jadavpur University. This is now the West Bengal governor, Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar, who has responded to the TMC's charge, saying that he had taken the initiative to connect with the chief minister, duly apprised her of the grave situation on campus. He added here, there are telephonic interactions between him and the chief minister. The governor here saying he had flagged the issue to the DGP as well as the chief secretary, and this response comes in after the TMC has continued to claim here that the governor rushed to Babul Supriyo's rescue without informing the state government. All right, this is yet another development here coming in. The governor making it very clear that under no circumstances should he be taking the blame of rushing in rescuing the Union Minister Babul Supriyo and quite literally salvaging the situation. We're going to be getting in more voices here on this, but let's get in a first reaction here from Ms. Anila Singh of the BJP. Ms. Anila, this has been the charge here that continues to remain by the BJP, and now you have the governor saying the same here, that there shouldn't have been a delay by state police. The governor had to rush in, presuming that the police would not be doing anything on ground?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have you ever seen this sort of example earlier in our country, when a governor has to rush to save a cabinet minister of our country? This is happening for the first time. And it is very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. What police was doing there? As I told you, like for one police officer, Mamta Didi sits on dharna pradarshan, and we very well know that from corner to corner she is running around. And on the other side, we see that police doesn't comes to save a cabinet minister who has simply been invited by ABVP for a program. He is not going there for any sort of politics. He was going there just to meet the students and to participate in a program. He is being heckled, and heckled in very, very bad way. Police was not doing anything. Governor had to rush. This is shameful. And we have not heard a single word from Mamata
but
Banerjee on
Anila, who do you think?
No apology from there.
Who do you think
Rather,
was
they are
involved
asking
in
Governor that why do you
grounding
go?
him in this manner? Right. Okay, let me ask that question here to Mr. Tausif Ahmed Khan, who is advocate and political analyst here with us. Yes, Anila, stay on with us. Mr. Tausif Ahmed Khan, the ugly manner in which you have national politics playing out on a university campus here, and this continues to be exploding. We'll be looking out the fallout of that violence that took place last evening, having an impact today as well. There are protests, counter-protests, complaints, counter-complaints being lodged, all regarding one small university event.
Yes, and this is not only unfortunate, it is very, very pathetic. The organized supposedly, like the event was organized supposedly for a freshers party by one student wing, which is ABVP, which has, which believes in the ideology of BJP and RSS. And then we have other students who do not believe in those ideologies. So I don't understand why should you make an event which is completely apolitical, political by inviting a union minister. Nevertheless, when the union minister went there, there were students who was protesting and were raising slogans of "Go back, Babul Supriyo." That to that extent it is fine, but when it escalated into heckling and pushing, that is wrong, absolutely wrong. What happened afterward? The organizer, the ABVP students, they went on a rampage as a mark to show their presence. They invited people, and by the 7 p.m.
So, Mr. Khan, you're saying that because this was a students' wing event, a union minister should not have been called. The ABVP does not have the independence to call a union minister on campus?
Of course not. If it is going to invite trouble. If
saying that they had the permissions from the registrar.
You want to invite controversy, you want to create a ruckus in the campus, then absolutely it should be stopped. There should be no political event inside the university. If that event is going to escalate into a tension and college property is being burnt by students, there's one wing of the student union room being run by SFI has been ransacked. College properties has been set on fire by ABVP students afterwards as a reaction to their protesting against the Babul Supriyo. So is university becoming a akhada for politicians to come and fight it out and show their might? This should be immediately stopped. I totally
that's exactly what we're discussing, which is our larger concern here. Miss Anila Singh, would you like to respond to how the ABVP has behaved here on this as well, in only further aggravating the situation and further intensifying the violence on campus?
ABVP has not done anything, and this is the character of left and TMC. They do such sort of heckleness and rampage, and then they blame that Bharatiya Janata Party workers or the ABVP students, they have done it. We have seen it earlier also. They are the one who believe in lawlessness. They are the one who believe in disturbing the harmony in between the people. So, I really fail to understand why Mr. Khan is saying that Babul Supriyo shouldn't have gone there. Why he shouldn't have gone there? Our country is a free country. Everybody is allowed to go wherever he or she wants to go. Is there some sort of martial rule there?
Okay.
That,
all right, let's get in. Anila, please take a listen into an independent voice here. This would be an eyewitness to what took place yesterday, following what's happening today as well. We have Soham Chatterjee, who's the student of the Jadavpur University here. Soham, thank you for being with us here. This is an issue regarding national political rivalry here, which is being used as a tool to interrupt functioning of universities. Is that how you're looking at this?
Absolutely. I mean, one of your panelists, I think, previously was saying that it is the left and the TMC which has been propagating violence over here. But what I'd like to point out is that it is the students of university. There are 3, 4, 5, 6 students who have broken heads, broken hands, and bruises all over their bodies, who are now afraid of coming out of their houses. And it is Babul Supriyo, the union minister, who was here lying down on the car or lying down on the bonnet of his car and, having a gala time. If we were violent, if we were the opposition, as they are saying over here, that we are the violent opposition which, beats up people and practices violence on campus, then Babul Supriyo, I don't think, would have been turned out alive from campus. But that did not happen because we were peacefully protesting. And what happened was that the students of the university were the ones who were, beaten up. And there are pictures to prove that. There are pictures, there are medical records. It's all there. It's all there.
How do you explain this as a peaceful protest here? If a union minister has been heckled, his hair pulled, his shirt ripped apart, how do you explain this as a peaceful protest?
Yeah, there was a long point of time when we had actually, as students, we had actually made a barricade to the KP Basu Memorial Hall and had asked him continuously to walk inside the hall without anyone touching him whatsoever. The VC himself was also there. You must have seen how he misbehaved with the VC also, being a union minister. And what we also wanted to point out is that the reason we did the black flagging and things like that is that we don't want to promote hate speech on campus. We don't have that kind of a consensus in Jadavpur University.
No, you just presume that this is going to be a hate speech even before you heard him?
Presumption. It's not a presumption because it's a premise. Babul Supriyo has been spreading hate speech all over the country, as does his party, throughout the country. And he has been, there are videos of him calling out to disabled people at functions for people with disabilities, where he's saying that he's going to break the legs of disabled people. There are videos of this. And after that, he's saying that it's just a joke.
No, all right. So stay on with us. Stay on with us. I'm getting in my colleague Ranadeep with us, who's of course very closely been tracking inputs coming in these developments, and you would need to take a listen into this here as well. Ranadeep, this is interesting. The presumption that this would be a hate speech, to preempt that, you push out the union minister. And now this is very clearly strong, ugly politics from both sides.
Yes, correct. So this entire political controversy began with SFI starting to heckle Babul Supriyo in the campus, in reply to which ABVP workers and ABVP supporters in the college had went on to spoil the entire union room of the SFI. So political drama clearly coming into the fore in Jadavpur University, because one party started to heckle the union minister while the other party decided to come back and decide to vandalize property that belonged to the SFI. Also, Babul Supriyo right now has tweeted saying these cowards will not be allowed to malign and tarnish the image of Jadavpur University. So Babul Supriyo right now clearly taking a stand for Jadavpur University, saying that despite all this happen, these cowards will now not be allowed to malign and tarnish the image of Jadavpur University. And he says, he tweets, and I quote, "You shall be found out by us soon, but don't worry, you shall not be treated in the manner you treated me." So Babul Supriyo once again giving out a clear statement saying the manner in which you treated me, the manner which you behaved with me, we shall not behave with you in a similar manner, but we will soon find out who you guys were and what the entire incident was. That's the latest Babul Supriyo has right now tweeted.
Okay. All right, so that's the absolute latest here, his reaction to that violence which he faced last evening. We also have President of the JNU Students' Union, Sai Balaji, with us over the phone line. Sai, thanks for being with us here. JNU students' politics has also been a very strong affair in campus, a very strong presence. But we're looking at how national politics is being used to influence the campus. Okay, we seem to have lost that line. We're going to take that question forth here to Mr. Tawseef Ahmed Khan. Mr. Khan, if you heard that here, this kind of animosity that we have between students' union wings of different political parties here, in accusing the other for having spread a violence, we almost looked at a situation of riot on campus. Do you not think that the state police and the state government should be taking responsibility for this instead of accusing a union minister in presuming that he's about to make a hate speech, in preempting that and having him pushed out?
So we have seen on video, Babul Supriyo was engaging in discussion with the students, and they did talk about NRC, and student body did say that we do not want NRC in Bengal, and then Babul Supriyo was trying to tell them that you have to learn NRC from me, I will teach you what is NRC. And then we have also seen Babul Supriyo telling the VC, the Vice Chancellor, that you are a Maoist, you are a leftist. And then he kind of reprimanding the VC that you should have been here, you should have come to receive me, as if it was a protocol for the Vice Chancellor to come and receive a union minister. On one side you are saying that this is a apolitical event, and on the other side you are claiming that I'm a union minister, you should have been here to receive me. He's contradicting himself.
Let's have Anila respond to that here. Anila, please explain. Please explain the need for Babul Supriyo to be talking about an issue such as NRC on campus to students, to be scolding the Vice Chancellor of the university. Is this becoming behavior of a union minister? Is there a sense that he had provoked the students there? Okay, we seem to have lost that line with Anila. We're going to be reconnecting. Let's get in a word here from Sai Balaji, JNU Students Union President, with us over the phone line. Sai, in your view, do you think that the union minister here should have stayed away from university, not indulged in national political issues on campus?
Has a right to speak, and the union minister has a right to go to university and present his views. But the problem over here is not about what views he is carrying or what he was doing. The problem here is when students were protesting against his presence or his views, the union minister has a right to maintain the decorum and ensure that he puts his views in a most democratic way. He can't provoke students, he can't catch their collars, he can't punch students, he can't elbow students like there are photographs and videographs of doing so. He can't abuse them. And being a minister in a democratic country, where he himself has been elected through an election, it is his duty to ensure that there is a greater sense of democracy that prevails. And students, when they're asking him questions, rather than provoking them, rather than making an atmosphere hostile for any discussion, the minister should have...
All right. Very quickly, I'm going to take that view here to Anila. Anila, thanks for reconnecting here with us. Final word here from you, please, because there is an equally strong allegation against the union minister, a sense that he was provoking the students on ground in talking about NRC. Now, why would you have him speak about a national political issue such as the NRC to the students and scolding the Vice Chancellor of the university as well? Should the union minister have also behaved better? All right, we seem to have lost that line again. We're going to be leaving at that here because there are very, very clearly two versions to this. What happened before the violence, what is happening after the violence, after the union minister was heckled, following which multiple complaints that have been filed and protests that we're looking at from each side here on that violence. At the end of the day, what we have tried to keep a focus here should be the essential concern on education suffering. National politics should not be used to interrupt functioning and education in university campuses, and this is exactly what has happened last evening. This is exactly what has happened in other universities in Kolkata and West Bengal as well. Thank you for being with us.